Okay. Hey everyone. Today with the Open Hearth, we are playing Midnight of the Century, which is a Millennium inspired game by Colin Lasure. It's just in the middle of coming out, so you might not have seen it. My name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I am running the game. We don't have character keeper order yet, because we haven't created characters. So, Lowell, maybe you can go first.
My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I'm very excited to do this. Of course, I'm old enough. I was watching Millennium when it was coming out weekly, but also I'm in the middle of uh, reading a giant book on Giallo Italian, which is is goes to horror but starts out as police procedurals and detective novels and things like that, and has, especially in the 90s, you get a bunch of films from Argento and others that have this kind of vibe to them. So I'm excited to be in this space.
Cool, Matt.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mads. They, them pronouns. I can't say that I've like watched anything like, definitively in particular in this genre. I mean, like I've like watched like some movies, definitely Seven. I've definitely watched Seven with some dread and some interest in the mysteries part of it for sure. But also there's a show that I cannot remember for the life of me the name of it, but I started watching it with Gillian Anderson, and I think the one guy who played Moriarty, I think he was in it as well. I mean, it was something very much like this. I mean, basically a cat and mouse between the cops and a serial killer that was like hiding in plain sight. So I mean, like I remember like watching that show for a little bit, and yeah, I mean. Just fascinated with just the possibility of like delving into a mystery. And there's also the Car from Brindlewood TTRPG that I also was playtesting with the designer Jack. Paradiso Rosso, which is definitely has some giallo influences on it as
Hmm.
well, and does handle like the sort of thing of like, okay, there's a murder mystery. It's like we're dealing with cops and we're definitely dealing with serial killers. So sure, okay, great. So yeah,
Yeah, I wonder if that's Hannibal, Mads, is it?
I don't know. No, oh, you mean the
No?
series that I was talking about? No,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
no.
No, there's one.
Um,
It's like set in, isn't it set in like Ireland or Great
I
Britain?
It is
Because
set in Great Britain. I just cannot
yeah,
remember for the
so
life of me what the name of it is.
it'll be the fall then
yeah,
in that case, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Um, uh, set in Ireland and Great Britain ish.
ish.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, and I guess most recently for me, I just finished a watch through Mindhunter,
Oh,
which is that cruelly cancelled game about, I guess, the start of profiling in the FBI. But yeah, I'm thinking we'll probably get weirder than that if
Mhm.
we're hewing to Millennium as our main touchstone. So yeah, let's start with characters. I guess the main thing involved here is that both of your characters are going to be working with the Oroboro group, which is this um, non-governmental agency that helps with these kind of investigations on serial killing and all of that. Obviously, they have some kind of mysterious agenda, but I think your characters won't be privy to that yet. Um, uh, I think let's run through character generation through these steps. I guess the main thing to be aware of is there are four profiles, four character classes. Let's say um, if you look at the more info tab, you can kind of see the names of those four, a brief pitch, some touchstones, and then also like the main kind of special skills that they both have. I guess the profiler is definitely in that um, milieu of Frank Black, Will Graham from Hannibal, um, someone who sees inside the mind of the killer. And then we have a journalist, an occultist, and the damned, who is a ghost, basically, inhabiting the body of someone to get around. So I guess this is where we get into the slightly more, let's call it gonzo end of the spectrum, if we're talking about Eric Draven or Ezekiel Stone from Brimstone. Um,
Oh man, I remember that
Another
show.
forgotten 90s TV show.
Did not watch it, but I mean, I heard about it, and it's like, oh, I wanted to watch it so bad. Oh,
Um, so it's worth maybe you know negotiating if one of those are jumping out at you straight away. Um, the game suggests we don't have any double ups, but I'm sure that's not probably going to be an issue.
Well, I'm less interested in the damned. The other three are sort of equally interesting to me. I didn't know if Mads, if you had anything that you're more or less interested in.
I'm definitely always interested in the weird, so I mean, the occultist was definitely jumping off of my queue. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, if you don't mind me taking the occultist, it's like,
Yeah. Uh, why don't I do the profiler then? Just because it's so classic, and I think it'll make a good, uh, you know, perhaps more skeptic versus more open to the fantastic kind of
Sure,
thing.
I love that.
I'll be very interested to see how your profiler interprets the visions they get, right?
Oh God,
Do they deny them? Do they um, just think that it's a particularly keen kind of insight, right? So
they're
that'll be
just that
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Doesn't
Love that.
everyone have this? Right.
Yeah, exactly. So good.
Um, uh, okay. Um, so obviously, the probably most difficult part of any character generation is first and last name and pronouns. Maybe we'll come back to this. Um, Now, the game suggests that most investigators have been around and seen some shit. I suggest you roll 46 plus 30 to determine your age, but I'm
Okay.
happy if you just want to pick an age that you're content with. Um, Obviously, if you have previously been in law enforcement and have left and then come back as a consultant, you can't. You're probably not 20, right? But who knows? Your strange personal story, especially if you're an occultist. Um, the next thing you do is roll for traits. I guess the main one here is stats. But actually, if you look at the random tables, the game suggests that you're going to roll for all of these traits. So your physique, your eyes, your vices and virtues. Again, I'm happy if you want to just pick those off the list. Um, uh, I think Mads, I'm not sure if I had not blanked all of the traits.
No,
Um,
like there's just some stuff in there, and I'm like, I just will like I'll change them. It's
yeah, yeah,
fine.
yeah. I think it was just left there after I was proving to myself that everything fit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fine. That's
Um,
cool.
so again, feel free to roll or roll and change your mind depending on what you want. So everything you're looking for in terms of those traits is in the random tables. So maybe you can always change those, obviously, if something changes about your mind or your vision of this character. But maybe I'll leave you do that for a while, and then we'll come back to stats
Mhm.
once you've got a kind of good vision of your character. So it looks like your traits are more or less fixed. Are we getting on, Mads?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Um, so maybe we'll wait till we're complete before we do like a proper introduction or discussion of who these guys are. For stats, what you're going to do is roll 3d6 for each in order. You get to swap any two of those stats around. And then you also get to give yourself a bonus. So the profiler gets a +2 mind bonus, and the occultist gets a +2 will bonus. Um, Body is, strength, speed, agility, very straightforward. Mind is reason, memory, focus, and will is belief, spirit, and resolve. So very vanilla in terms of that. You're going to rely on will probably more on average than otherwise because that is what you take stress against. And that's how keeping it above 0 is really important to avoid fracture, which is kind of
Oof.
a psychological break.
Wow, that was one of the worst set of rolls I've ever had.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
good.
Wow, we're just gonna look so fun. Okay, great. Hmm.
So you get to apply your bonus to mind, and then at the
Yep.
moment your max is going to be equal to your current.
Okay.
Is that correct? Like, my max is 18?
Sorry, those are again just placeholders. So you're going to
Okay.
set your max, uh, what you roll, and then your current is going to be depleted with tests. But at the moment, it'll be the same as what you rolled, and
Okay.
then
So
+2
wait.
to will.
Okay. So basically, our current is, or excuse me, our max is what we just rolled, right? Plus whatever if we apply like a bonus or whatever to it,
Yeah,
or
so you're
no?
going to +2 to will.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Ooh. I can count. Let's say. All right. Actually, let's flip these two. Okay. And then
I think it'll be okay, Lowell. The game also tells us that if you come face to face with the killer, you are probably going to end up dead anyway. So,
That's fair.
um, don't chase them, don't
oh my
confront them,
god.
Um,
Amazing.
right. So we've already chosen our specialism. And the next step is to do your psych profile. So you'll see there's a series of questions, and if you look at the psych profile tab, there is a series of suggested answers. Again, the game suggests that you roll for each of these, but again, happy for you to either pick off the list or slightly change it to make it fit your character concept a little bit more. Um,
Oh, I love randomization, so why not? Okay, great.
it's going to be wild.
Oh, fun! Yay! Okay. Ah, Is there a reason like there's two spaces underneath what scares you the most?
Because if you were the damned, you get a fourth question.
Oh,
Ooh.
gotcha, gotcha. Okay. All right. But we only can get one answer for that, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's just a blank space above that to hold the fourth question. So yeah,
Got it,
you're
got it.
only
Cool. All right.
yeah. The fourth question for the damned is whose corpse are you wearing? You know, it'd be so boring if you rolled your own, right?
Oh my
That's what I'm
gosh.
thinking.
Amazing. I'm glad I picked random on that one because it's like it's fitting. Yeah, sure.
Great stuff. We'll delve into this a little bit deeper, I'm sure.
Hmm.
And I think the last real step here is bond. So there are uh, three things in your life that keep you safe, physically, mentally, spiritually. I'm not sure about the last one. Um, so the first one is your connection, which is a loved one who keeps you grounded and focused. This could be your former partner, lover, best friend, colleague, drinking buddy, or pet. Um, your connection pulls you back from the abyss. You're willing to give everything to protect them. Um, Again, there is a random table for this. Um, for your connection, there's a D20 table for your haven. Your haven is the place you feel safest and most at home. So this could be your yellow house, a dingy office on the back of a motorcycle, or the local diner. And then finally, there's a D12, because why have the same dice for any of these tables for your vehicle? You probably own a car or at least have access to one. This helps you get where you need to go.
Uh, I
Um,
don't have that like up, but I mean, if you just tell me what die to roll and then like just tell me what I get, that would be great.
oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, so connection is D what?
D10,
Okay, I rolled a 10.
a pet.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna put pet for right now. I'll figure out a name in a minute. Um, Haven, what do I roll?
D20.
9.
A museum.
Ooh. And vehicle is D12?
Well,
6.
is a sedan.
Cute. All right. All right, so let's see. Oh, what era are we in?
I'm thinking it's 1999, right?
Okay.
That works.
I was gonna say it's like payphones. Wow. All right.
Payphones, pagers. I mean, the internet exists, right?
Right. But I mean, like when we're saying like loose change, I'm like, oh yeah, that's when we could use loose change at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
um, so yeah, I guess the final one is equipment, but that's pretty much defined by your specialism. And then everyone has the kind of same basic equipment. If you need anything else, it is possible to get it. There's no inventory rules. Um, if there's something that you can't be carrying around with you, it's probably in the trunk of your car. Um, it's not a big deal. Anything that you might reasonably have, you can reasonably have.
Right.
Um, okay. Looks good. Let's get a an intro for the characters. Maybe find out a little bit about their history. Uh, Maybe also think about how long you've been with the group. Probably isn't that long, but if this isn't your first case, then with the group, then that'll be interesting as well. Lowell, let's start with you.
So my character is Michelangelo DeAcosta. I think just Michael is what he's going to go by in this. And he is a profiler, he, him pronouns. And he was originally a forensic psychologist. And uh, uh, the, his actual work that kind of, forced him out was working with a madman, a serial killer who essentially got into his head and forced him to leave. And shortly after that, uh, not not didn't happen at the hands of that particular serial killer, but I was called in sort of as an independent assessor on a case of another serial killer called the Director. Did kind of cinematic setups, cuts from movies as the murder scene kind of thing. And in the course of that, I crossed paths, possibly. I still don't know. But I got shot a half dozen times, went into a coma that I was in for a good year and a half, uh, recovered from that, tried to piece my life together after that, and joined the organization because they could help out with a certain amount of medical bills and that kind of thing. And nobody else really wanted to touch me, which is why I have a body of four. Out of from a 3 to 18, I have a body of four. So I wanted an excuse for that. My best friend is Marta Collier. I think in classic the Dead Zone fashion, this was somebody who was a friend that he was, considering that this might be somebody, I need to maybe confess. And of course, got shot, went into the coma, come back out. They've married since then, but they're still a good friend. So I think we get that kind of martyr tension that's going on there. I do have a cottage there. I think we're in Seattle is the city. So, a cottage there on the bay, probably left from my parents, that kind of thing. And so that is how I am picturing my character. I think that they do have visions, and I think they've only started to have those visions since they came out of the coma. And at this point, well, they've had a few of them, and they believe that it is perhaps some kind of aphasia, a piecing together of things in my mind palace. And that's what's happening. It's nothing supernatural. It's merely, my mind was working feverishly for a year and a half, and now it's trying to catch up, and it takes the information in a different way than other people. That's what he believes.
Okay. And what line of work is your friend Marta in? Law enforcement or just kind of an outside of that world?
No, I think like a professor, maybe literary studies, that kind of thing. I think she did marry someone in law enforcement, somebody that I knew there. But she is a professor with, because it's 1990s, she could still get tenure. Uh, there at like University of Washington, Seattle.
Okay, great. And this cottage, is that your primary abode, or is that like kind of
Oh
a
yeah, I
holiday
imagine.
getaway spot?
I imagine that it is down close by the bay. I can walk out onto the shoreline, stand there with a cup of coffee and a cigarette, and look off knowingly in the distance as the fog comes over the bay. Uh, yeah, that's my primary residence.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Lowell. Anything else you think is things you want to find out and play? Um,
I do think he still doesn't know who exactly shot him. Like that is a a big mystery that he has been. He probably has his little board with the lines and everything, trying to figure out who actually shot him. You know, and I think when we cut over, we can see that there are a lot of different people, including perhaps the face of Marta's husband, on there. So for a long season long conspiracy thing.
okay, yeah, great stuff. Mads, how about you?
Yeah, so I am playing Nathalie Abad, she, her, with a lean physique, a drawn face. I mean, yeah, she's hit 40, and scarred skin because, you know, she's been in this business of helping out as a consultant, as an occultist. But I mean, like, some of the other businesses that she's done is like pretty much like reading the cards, or like, providing some other help with like possibly doing a little bit of bounty hunting on the side when she can, or like, process serving, which is always fun. So yeah, I mean, like a few scars on her skin from that, and her eyes are sad, and she has flowing hair that she kind of like just tosses over one shoulder. Um, she speaks in a cryptic manner because sometimes she knows what she's talking about, and sometimes she doesn't. So, out of caution, she'll just say what sounds the most mysterious, hoping that she's right. Um, and she'll be upbeat about many things, but she's also stubborn about it as well. And for the most part, she just kind of like dresses like everybody else. It's like, but more nerdish, with glasses and everything like that, because of her interests, and also trying to make a play for being respectable looking while also being knowledgeable about what she does know. Um, she is, she has done this and has felt like she's made up a lot of stuff, you know, like doing the side hustle, but also doing the consulting with the occult. And yet it seems to always come true. And it seems to have started from when she was a child and she saw, well, she didn't say anything to anybody about what she saw, but she saw an apparition appear behind her in the bathroom mirror. And it was after a joke that her friends and her sister had pulled, of like, like calling out for Bloody Mary and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, she didn't do it. Like, of course she's not going to do that shit. She's like too superstitious. But after they, like, tried to get her to do it, she looked in the mirror and she saw something. And she's like, I'm not saying anything about it. But she's seen things ever since. And again, she feels like part of it is made up, Like it just comes to her mind, and she'll say whatever comes to mind, but then it actually comes true, whether it be a vision or whether she feels like she's speaking to someone or through someone or someone speaking through her. And I think she's the most scared of possibly losing control of that. Like, I mean, at least there's some modicum of like if I'm making it up, I can control whatever this is. But if someone or something speaks through me, then where am I? And I think that's what will scare her the most. Um, right now, she lives alone with her Norwegian forest cat. Big guy, big guy.
Hmm.
Like meows like a meows like a growl. Sounds like a bowling ball going down the stairs, and his name's Toodles.
Hmm.
Um, and she finds solace in going to the Havershard Museum of Oddities, which is essentially a storefront that sells convenience food or something like that in the front, but then has like some strange trinkets or some strange things to look at every so often in the back. Headed by a guy named Henry, and then she drives a sedan with two weird bumper stickers that she cannot scrape off for the life of her from her aunt, which, yeah, it's a beat up thing already, but I mean, like, she's tried to scrape these damn bumper stickers off and they will not come off. So, don't ask me what they say, because, again, she's been trying to remove them and they just won't come off.
Okay, fantastic. Where do you think Natalie lives? Where in Seattle do you think? What kind of neighborhood?
I feel like I don't know Seattle very well. I mean, I feel like it's in one of those neighborhoods that where everything is pretty close by, right? Because she can walk to the Museum of Oddities. She can, like, just, bike over to, or like take her little sedan, just a little bit over to the grocery store or something like that. But it's not like a big long drive. Um, so it feels like a place where things are kind of close together and it's more of a community rather than like a neighborhood. Um, it may not even look out onto the water. It's just maybe something like more inland. But yeah, I mean, it's very comfortable, very, very cozy. Just, yeah. Um, Someplace where she can kind of feel like she's away from things, but yet also in the middle of things. So this way she doesn't feel isolated.
There is a tab, the city with a map and some key areas, and then the neighborhoods. But of course, all of my knowledge of Seattle geography comes from Shadowrun, so your mileage may vary. Um, okay, and anything in particular you are really interested to see Natalie get up to, or for us to discover?
You know what? I think, like, looking at this, it's like probably University District. It would make sense for her to be in the University District. Um, I think
Um,
so.
yeah, so anything else you want to see in play with Natalie, or you just want to see where we get?
I'll just see where we get to. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think before we jump into our investigation, I would really love to see like what you are getting up to before you get the message from the Oroboro group, um, which, if it matters, will be at like 8 o'clock in the evening, I think. Or is it? No, it'll be the morning, right? So it'll be, a cold and rainy Seattle morning. Lowell, what do we think we see Michael get up to? What's his like normal life waiting for the call?
I think there is the getting up in the morning, the going down, the Mr. Coffee. down there. We're still in the era of Starbucks, so probably has, bags of Starbucks coffee. There, I think we see him kind of get ready, looking over like the sort of like dietary requirements he's supposed to have for the breakfast that he makes, the big fistfuls of pills he has to take, medications and things, uh, and then goes into another part of the cottage that has clearly been like remodeled and set up, and there's probably like a rowing machine and a treadmill, all the classics, some, parallel bars for rehabilitation. I think he stands, in the doorway there, with the cup of coffee, and then turns the light out and doesn't go into his rehabilitation work, and instead goes and sits on, the back porch and just kind of looks out over the water, ponderously.
And if there's a wall calendar or a journal that Michael keeps, like what is supposed to be on his agenda today?
I think it is a like uh, a therapy appointment. Like he also is kind of required to go in a couple of times a week, rehabilitative, like talk therapy with another psychologist, and uh, doesn't like it because it's in the afternoon. He has to drive in to Seattle. Doesn't really want to do this. He knows the drill on it. Doesn't want to do it.
So is Michael like you know praying for an excuse not to go to this? Is that
I think
his
it is
mindset?
much as anything like we can see him sitting there, maybe a cut to the calendar, the him looking at magazines, papers, like, is there anything I can find an excuse not to go and do this? Any events, anything I need to go and shop for, anything I can do.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, Matt, how about Natalie? What do we see of her life?
Yeah, I mean, I think, she'll, alarm rings, and we see a hand, like, kind of slam on the alarm a little bit, like, we're kind of, like, not even looking, but just kind of, like, slamming for the alarm. And then, like, right after the alarm rings, it's like, there is a growl of, and it's like, it sounds it sounds mechanical, but it's actually not. It's Toodles, like, meowing at her from the floor. And I know. And then she'll, like, kind of crawl out of bed, or actually slide out of bed, and then throw on her robe, and then, like, put her glasses on, and then she'll shuffle over to the kitchen with Toodles at her heels, and actually he'll kind of like push into her legs when it looks like she's not quite going in the right direction. Like, maybe she wants to go to the bathroom first, but no, no. Toodles is like, nope, feed me first. And she heads to the kitchen, like, will sleepily, like, dump out some kibble for Toodles' breakfast, and then, like, go back into the bathroom, and then, like, try to wake herself up with a splash of water on her face. And then she'll like quickly just get a little bit washed up, change clothes, and then check her calendar. And she'll see, like, there's, like, some appointments for some tarot readings that she's agreed to do. And just to kind of warm up, like, she'll go to her dining room table and like, do a spread, like a few, like, just basic spreads, like 3, 4 card spreads. And each time that she does them, like, she's like, we see, like, the camera watching her shuffle the cards, kind of like spread them out, like, pick them very carefully, like, run her hands, like, over them before she picks. And she picks them, and she places them very carefully on the altar cloth thing. Her expression gets a little bit more serious, and Toodles will come out of the kitchen, and, like, almost drops some kibble from his mouth at her feet, and he's meowing at her, and she's not paying attention because she's just looking very seriously at the four-card spread that's on her table right now. So,
Um, and do you think does a wish like pass from your mind out loud, or is it a feeling of dread that you can feel from the cards from your reading?
I think, like, an overall feeling, because the camera will kind of flash to each of the pictures that's on the card, and it's just like a progression of, with each flash of, like, here's a person, like, that might be like in a reversed like position that like kind of gives like a bad feeling, and then like another person that like seems to be going towards something foreboding, and then another person with, like, six swords coming out of their back. I forget exactly which card it is. And then like another one where it's like, oh, it's the tower card, this is bad, 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 bad. So that sort of thing going on. And it's like, oh noes. Yeah. And
Yeah, and I think you get that buzzing sound from your pager that almost sounds like it's Toodles, right? It has
yeah,
that same mechanical
exactly.
um, vibration, and I think you see the on the pager, it says 2000, and that is Oroboro. You know what number to call. Um, how do we think we see Michael receive that message?
I think he's pleased. And I think we do see him go and, gets the cell phone and gets one of the little like dumb Bluetooth in the ear. Like, remember how they used to have those the things and you put them on there to talk on the phone, kind of high tech, and uh, call into whoever. Do we have a case officer, or do we like when we call in to check on this? Like, who do we call, or is it just a sign that they want us to go into the office?
So I think you always call this number, but it always seems to arrive at like your case officer, your handler, wherever they are. So there's some kind of rerouting going on. Um, your case officer or your handler right now is Will Butler, but I think either you're so new or he's so new as your handler that you never actually met him. Um,
Yeah, I think I've been
so
working on like paper stuff. I think that's all the calls that have been so far have been me to go in and review stuff in the office, read over records, things like that. And, I will call in and go, this is DaCosta.
and Will Butler introduces himself. I mean, he's about 50, maybe he has a slight Maine accent. He says, um, I'm at the local police station. He gives you a neighborhood which is in the northeast of the city, up near Lake City. Um, Pick me up in 20 minutes. I'll brief you on the way to the scene. Um,
Absolutely. And, remember how you used to have to push the button in the little earpiece to end the call? I do that. I hated
and that
those things so much.
Mads and Natalie, I guess if you're, a little bit later making the call, not as hooked up as Michael is, you get the same phone conversation. Um, what do you think um, do you think you get a vibe of um, of Will Butler, or what do you think your usual phone insight is?
I mean, has he called me before? Like, has he been the one that I've spoken to before
I,
on the
I
phone?
think I think he is someone you have not spoken to either.
Okay.
But you know the name, right? You know he
Right.
is your new handler.
Right. I think this feels a little bit different. Like, she knows the number, obviously, because I mean she's gotten the pager from Oroboro, but I think this one, like where she hesitates, as she's dialing the number to call back, I think she's like her breath hitches as if she's sensing something very different about this particular call. Like she's not expecting the same person to pick up the phone or to answer. So I think already she's like her the hair on the back of her neck is already like raised. So
Okay. Well, we'll get into that after our break. Now I have to find the pause button. Okay, so we are back, and yeah, I guess you pull up at the police station in this neighborhood, and you see. I guess you assume it's Will Butler. He looks a little bit younger than his 50 years would suggest. He's got a maybe a trying too hard goatee. He's got a balding head. I think you see him, put on a flat cap. And I don't know whether it's his manner or his style or whatever like that, but he does give you that whole "I'm a cop" vibe, right? Whether that's from experience on one side or the other, who knows? Um, and yeah, I guess, when you arrive um, in your sedans, both sedans, I noticed,
Yep.
he kind of waves you over, um, and I think he says, I'll drive if that's okay. I know where it is.
Sure.
sure.
I don't believe we've been introduced. Dr. DeAcosta, you are.
Will Butler. Um, I'm your handler right now. First time meeting on a case. I guess that is how we roll now.
And then I'll turn to Abad, and you are.
Nathalie Abad. Yeah.
Ah,
You can call me Nathalie. It's fine.
all right.
Um, and I guess he's kind of side-eyeing or looking at you in the rearview mirror as you drive through the neighborhood. Um,
What's your field of specialty? Uh, Miss Abad, Ms. Abad,
Natalie's fine. It's
Natalie. All right,
yeah.
Natalie. But what's your field of specialty?
I Oh, you said doctor, yeah? Um,
You don't have to. A forensic psychologist, but we can leave off the doctor.
right. Well, I mean, the only reason I asked is because, yeah, you might have a sense of skepticism when you hear me say I deal in a bit of the occult.
No, no, I appreciation for people who study occult and occult ritual type killings and things like that. I understand. Yeah, we always have to have. I mean, that's a very narrow, dedicated part of the field. But I've worked with some people who've done some great work in that.
Oh, I mean, that's a surprise. Usually I get the side eye from the scientific slash medical types, so you're refreshing. All right.
And I think it goes completely over Acosta's head. I think he's like, "Oh, okay."
And she just gives you gives you a side eye instead. I'm like, what is with this guy? Okay, great. So, and then she'll kind of like, like I'm assuming that we're in the back, and then like, Butler's driving, and then she'll just kind of like look at Butler through the mirror.
yeah, and
We're
he obviously knows the full story, right? As the handler, he will have seen um, the personnel files for Natalie, but he doesn't say anything.
Mhm.
He just maybe catches your eye in the rearview mirror, and you know maybe you can see the cogs turning, right?
Are you going to give us
Acosta.
any sense of what we're going into before we get to the scene, or do you not want to have us have preconceptions?
Well, I haven't been to the scene yet myself,
Oh,
so
oh,
I can tell you what I know, or like you say, I'd prefer to not to sully the waters. You know what I mean?
sure, sure. I'll sit back, drink my coffee, and wait.
I noticed you had an appointment in the office, Acosta.
Yeah, but I already called in to say that's going to get bumped.
Okay. Um,
This certainly trumps that.
that'll be my calculation too.
Good.
Any pressing engagements for you, Natalie?
No, I mean, I can let them know if I'm running late or I can reschedule them. It's not a problem.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, let's zip ahead to the scene of the crime. Um, as you'd expect, it's pouring rain. Whether this is early morning, um, the early morning weather, or whether it's just blind luck, it is raining even heavier than usual. Uh, Will parks on the street, and then I mean you can tell where the crime scene is because the squad cars, ambulance, coroner, like the whole shebang is arrayed around an entrance to this alleyway, alongside a Chinese restaurant, the Golden Walk. Um, the alleyway is narrow, cramped. There's dumpsters, um, fading, ripped posters, half-assed graffiti. Um, there is this um, competing smell of the restaurant versus the rotting whatever it is and the dumpsters. That's probably thankfully drowning out the the stench of the body. There's a white tarp in the center of a police cordon. I mean, it's pretty much taking up the entire width of the alleyway, but and then a handful of bored cops milling around just outside the that tape. Um, Will kind of stops well before, probably stops at the entrance to the alleyway and says, "You check this out. Um, Here and maybe the victim's house. You get the details. I'm going to chase some leads. Um, I'll leave your car. I'm taking a ride over with someone else. Uh, I guess you have my personal pager, so um, give me a shout if you need to actually talk.
Okay.
We good?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I think I'll get out of the car. I very clearly trying to hide the difficulty I have in moving there and trying to kind of conceal that. Uh, you know, get the umbrella out and wait for Natalie to, so the two of us can approach. We're coming in as outsiders. So I want to make sure that we're coming in together.
Right. I think she comes out the other side of the vehicle so she doesn't see your physical distress. Um, but she's kind of like intent upon like her normal protocol for how she's going to approach the scene. And I think I think she's already started to pull out from her, like from underneath her blouse, like she has on a chain. She has her little sigil, like it's like a polished um, gemstone with like a like wrapped um, silver sign or something like that around it, and she's kind of like kind of clutching at it and like kind of rubbing it like a worry stone as she's making her way out of the car, and then uh, uh, like going side by side with Michael to the uh, crime scene, and she's just kind of like looking beyond the cops and wondering whether, because Will Butler said he was going to go check out something else, yeah?
Yeah, he has got a few more leads. He's leaving the scene in your hands. The
But are
Oroboro
we
group has been brought in by the
okay?
police to help out, so
Okay. So we're cleared to go
you're
to
clear
go
to go
closer.
there, right?
Okay,
So
good.
in inside alongside the tarp, probably at this moment when you look, kind of lifting up the tarp to examine something, there's a younger woman, maybe mid-30s, African American, dressed in a suit. Um, so she's definitely, um, you know, there as well in an official capacity. You don't recognize her, but I think as you approach, she lets the tarp back down and kind of sees you, and then like walks over to the tape and maybe like lifts it up to bring you inside.
Thank you. Nathalie Abad, one of the consultants. Um, just wanted to take a look at the scene and see if we can get our take on the situation.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Shari Bradley. I am, I guess, going to do a medical examination uh, on the victim. Uh, uh,
You're also
so
with Oroboro?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I know it's unusual. Sometimes the medical coroner needs some help, but I think we should be able to get this done ourselves.
Is this uh, does this look at first sight unusual? We
Well,
weren't told
it's
anything.
okay. Well, it's definitely
Let's. I, I want to see the body in situ, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
Natalie. Before you say anything, just can you show us what we're seeing here, and then give us the what we know?
yeah. So yeah, she like not with any flourish, but like really matter of factly just draws back the tarp.
Yeah.
You can see a naked body, male, um, face down, um, but hard to exactly tell um, age. But you would guess kind of late 30s, early 40s. Um, yeah, and I think there's not a whole lot of blood here, even accepting the rain. You might think they were killed elsewhere and dumped here. Um, so, in terms of mechanics, um, you have these general skills like investigate, interview, research, and so on. So you can always do these things to kind of uncover clues. You're only going to need to roll if there's a risk, if
Hmm.
there's
Okay.
some kind of danger or some other general risk involved.
Yeah.
Um, if you fail one of those saves, you're going to take stress equal to like a number associated with the time of day, the doom phase. So when you mess up at midnight, it's more dangerous than when you mess up at dawn. It's currently
Right.
dawn, so it's
Okay.
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 as safe as things get. Um, if you are using your specialist skills, you also have to spend stress to activate them. You don't need to roll unless, again, it's risky or dangerous. So that's all going to come out of your will, which is what stress is working on.
Okay. Because
Um,
I was gonna use commune for this.
okay. Um, uh, Lowell, what's Michelangelo taking in? Are you kind of looking at?
Essentially just a brief conversation with the doctor. I said, do we know cause of death? Are there any visible signs? Do we see any signs of sexual assault? Anything like that? Like what, they're obviously dumped here from another location. There's no, I assume the clothing isn't here. Like you're just getting the real basics here first.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, they've got a messy cuts down the sternum, neck to groin. I would say kind of hard to suggest that this is an experienced killer because there's a lot of messy double takes on that. Hands tied behind the back. Um, the eyes are missing.
Oh,
If I am reading between the lines, I would say that is why we were called.
certainly a ritual element.
Yeah, yeah,
And we have an
uh,
ID.
we do. The victim is James Loken, school teacher, local.
I'll I'll kind of look over at Abad, kind of because I am curious about what her methodology is going to be here. So I am observing.
Yeah, I mean, like as you're asking the usual questions, it's like she's already leaning down to the body, and she'll kind of kneel and like whisper close to the corpse's ear, and she'll say, "Are you willing to talk to me?" And that's where she's going to use commune.
Okay.
So,
So you're going to spend one stress
mhm.
to engage with this.
So we're
Um,
taking one away from will, so
yeah,
that's okay.
and you also need to make a will save
Yep.
to uh, engage with this actively. So in the presence of the deceased corpse or spirit, you attempt to speak to the dead.
Okay.
On a success, you'll ask 3 questions before the dead grows bored. And on a failure, you arrange the dead and trigger a fracture. So you're gonna roll a d20
Okay.
and get underneath your will.
Underneath my will.
Underneath, yeah. Higher is better.
And
So you
okay, and am I applying my modifier in a way, or no? Is that like that's only to add will to my
yeah,
to
you applied that at the very start, right?
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's your score.
Okay. So this is just D20. Okay. 1D20, here we go. Roll under. 13.
Ew,
Yes. That is under.
that is under.
Woo! Okay.
So yeah, what does this look like when you start this ritual?
She is again. She's clutching her sigil slash pendant in her hand as she's kneeling down and looking over the corpse's face. Like she's taking in how he looks, even though he's face down. She's kind of like taking in what she can, but she's can see his ear, and she will lean down and whisper into his ear, "Are you willing to talk to me?" And as she's clutching the pendant, because it's within her fist, it's like, people can't see it, but I mean, she can feel how warm it's getting. So she can tell it's like it's starting to glow from within. And, she can tell it's like she's starting to reach out within and then without, and reaching out to what was in this body, in this meat suit, to whomever she can talk to. So,
And when they speak back, are like they speaking through your voice? Or do you just hear them in your head?
I feel like she is seeing them. Like it's kind of like that camera shot in, like, where they have like that kind of like a like haloed effect in the filter, and then like, can kind of see her like kind of shooting back into herself. So she's in the street, but with nobody else except for her and the body. And
Okay.
then she'll hear footsteps coming towards her, and then there's him, I guess, approaching. Maybe he's clothed, maybe he's not. But he'll you know he'll speak to her since she's reached out to him.
Okay. And do you think that Michael or anyone else around can see that you're having this conversation or can kind of feel something eerie?
Yes, because not only is she clutching the pendant, but she is stock still. Like, how you can tell, like, when people are like in a listening mode. This is 10 times bigger than that, because she's not only in listening mode, but it's almost like she's a statue. She is a living statue, and her eyes have rolled up into her head, so all you can see are the whites of her eyes.
Okay.
Like, so if you like kind of go around to look at her face, it's like, she's in listening mode, but the whites of her eyes are the only things visible. And yeah, so
Yeah,
she's.
and I think in this kind of seance mode, there's no rain, but you feel his hand on your shoulder, and he is physically almost exactly like you see him. So naked, his eyes are missing. There's like blood dripping down his cheek.
Were you able to see who did this to you? Man, woman, beast?
Can't see anymore, but I did see them. I know who did it.
Do you have a name?
Nick. I thought he was my friend. We were going to stop this together.
Stop what?
Earthquake. Going to destroy this city. This is the Maritime City. Everything is going to come down. But Nick, he wants it to happen.
Nick. Nick wants
And
it to
he,
happen?
yeah, and he squeezes your shoulder. I have to go.
Safe travels. And it's like, she feels like a wrenching, like even as he's like, clutching her shoulder. And it's like, it's almost like, wrenching as he's leaving. And then like, she's back in her own body, and her eyes roll back to, her pupils. And like, she kind of collapses a little bit out of her kneeling position, and
You all
gasps.
right?
He said, his friend killed him. His friend Nick. They were trying to, he was trying to stop something from happening. An earthquake. But his friend wanted it to happen. Something's gonna happen. And his friend wanted it to happen. Or wants it to happen. saw I saw this, or the cards saw this morning. Something bad is gonna happen.
The
Nick,
cards?
I I do tarot, but no, I mean I saw him, James. I saw him. I talked with him, and he said his friend Nick killed him. Did this.
And I think my head swivels very slowly over to the for our forensics doctor, and I want to know what her reaction is to this. Is she nodding along, or is she equally as perhaps surprised as I am?
I think you look over to Bradley, and maybe she has had the victim's head angled up towards you to like show you the wounds, and like you're looking into those empty eye sockets when you look at her for a moment. Um, and she looks at you, uh, Acosta.
Uh, I, but it doesn't seem like uh, that Dr. Bradley is surprised at all at my associate
Yeah, I
speaking in
think
this way.
I think she sees the look, maybe kind of confusion, and I think she gives you like a shrug, like we've all been there, buddy. You know,
Okay. All right. Um, okay.
whatever
Uh,
whatever tools we have in the toolbox, Acosta.
all right. Uh, well, Dr. Bradley, you're going to take the body away to do the full forensics examination?
Yeah, we'll I'll send you the report as soon as I have them. Uh, maybe this evening. I don't know.
Natalie, why don't you and I do a quick walk of the alley before we head to the victim's house?
Yes. And then we need to find this Nick guy, as soon as possible.
Yes, this Nick guy.
So there is in the alley. I mean, so you can look for
Yeah,
more
basically, if there's any,
evidence. Yeah,
you
Mhm.
know, writing on the walls, marks, symbology, anything like that, the classic.
yeah. There, I don't think there is anything like that here, or certainly nothing that looks like it might be fresh. Like there's some, you know, gig posters up or old graffiti, right?
Is there anything to suggest is this an easy place to dump a body, or is this a more challenging place to dump a body?
Um, I think your take on this would be it's pretty easy. You know,
Okay,
if you like if I've described it as narrow and there are dumpsters, but you could drive a car down here and dump a
okay.
body out
Go
the
behind the
trunk.
restaurants.
Yeah,
Not going to
yeah.
be any CCTV kind of thing. Okay. I just want to make sure
Uh,
that there wasn't like this wasn't like weird, like a weirdly chosen place. Okay.
yeah, there is the person who discovered the body is like sitting on a step, kind of covered by the porch, so he's not getting soaked to his skin. You know, he's like young, 17. He's a dishwasher. He is smoking a cigarette. Um, Probably his third or fourth by the look of the fresh butts right next to him.
Do you want to talk to the kid or should I?
I'll talk to the kid, and I will go over, just get the basic story about when they found him, the basics on it.
Yeah.
Is it anybody
So
that you recognize, that kind of thing.
uh, so Alec already told the cops this. Uh, I arrived like a bit before 8 for my shift. And I came out for a cigarette break about 10:30, and there he was. Like he wasn't here when I arrived. Like there was nothing here.
Oh, so okay, okay. That's good to know. Good to know. But that's not anyone you'd ever seen before.
And you're a ways down from it. He's been brought outside the tape. He's like constantly looking at the white tarp, which is currently being removed, and Bradley is maybe putting the body on a gurney to take it away for the autopsy, and he cannot stop looking up there. Um, I didn't see anyone.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the guy.
Okay.
I I don't know. Like I didn't like look at his face or anything because it was like he was obviously dead, right?
It's all good. I'm sure that once they've got an ident kit, they'll come back and check in with you and just to make sure it's not somebody that from the neighborhood, that kind of thing. But okay, well, uh, like let me go and talk to somebody and see if they can cut you loose. Okay.
Okay. Um, are we gonna like be open today?
You're not cooking in the alley, so yeah, I'm assuming you're gonna be able to open up.
Oh, okay.
And I will go and see who's in charge and politely ask if we can cut the kid loose.
Yeah. I think you're probably looking around the alleyway and like specifically see if there's any other signs. So, like the dumpsters are really standard. Like there's broken crates,
Yeah.
bottles.
But like no bloodied clothing, obviously
No,
tossed on top. Okay.
no. I think maybe there is something that catches your eye in this kind of gray, concrete, rainy thing. Is that you do see a couple of brightly colored feathers on the ground that are maybe over um by the wall. You know, very damp now, but definitely out of place.
I pick one up before pointing the other one out to whoever is the crime scene unit person.
Okay. Are you trying to get some kind of glimpse?
No, because I can't choose it. It just happens to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm putting it in my pocket for the moment. Uh,
I guess the question then is, are you trying to block or ignore a glimpse? Should I give it to you?
I am not going to try and block. I don't think I know yet enough to block.
Okay, okay. Um, so I think you like, are you've got a glove or you've got
Oh no, I
bag,
think
you just pick it up.
I've just picked one up to kind of put in my pocket.
Okay. And you get this almost like sepia tinted vision of someone sitting in front of an apparatus. And there's a feather just like this being tied slowly around a hook. And you can hear this kind of voice in your ear instructing you, correcting you, and you feel like flustered as you're doing this. Um, and I think the voice kind of brings this glimpse to an end. It says, "That's not going to attract anything. That's not going to kill anything."
And you catch Leviathan with an hook. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I've put together a picture too. So this does look a feather like it could be for fishing lures. I see how my brain operates there. Interesting, interesting. Um, then I'll I'll assume I'm going to take some stress, right?
So you're going to take one stress for engaging with it. You didn't try to resist it, so you're
Right.
not. There's no
Which would have been
risk
much
of any
worse.
much worse. Yeah. Um, does has Michael ever gone fishing? Been to like a fly
Oh,
tying
yeah,
exercise?
absolutely.
Okay.
I have a cottage on the bay. Uh, probably
So
has the old fishing gear.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
from his parents, kind of thing.
sure.
Then I'll look around for Natalie, see if it looks like Natalie's finished theirs or is still continuing, and wait on them.
Yeah, I mean, like, while Michael was talking with the dishwasher, she was looking to see if there was anything else around the body to indicate why why the dump here. Like if there was anything to say. It's like, why he was blooded elsewhere. Well, besides, just to not, lead easily to the killer, you know, but why also the cut from, you said, neck to sternum?
Yeah, yeah. So cut down the body, um, with a lot of hesitation marks, it would seem.
Right.
Um,
Didn't want to do it. She'll kind of like say that to herself as she's looking on, as Dr. Bradley gets the body ready to zip up into the bag and onto the gurney. James said he didn't want to do it, but he wants to bring about that quick. But yeah, she'll take a look and if there's anything else to see in the alleyway.
I don't think there's anything else here. Uh, yeah, I think that is it, really.
Okay.
Um, like I said, there wasn't really an awful lot of blood here, so that is why Bradley suggests um, they were killed elsewhere and then dumped here.
Right.
So yeah, there's really very little here that survived the rain.
Is there any other contact here that we can ask to call ahead, or to see if they can trace James Logan's uh, friends or contacts? Like,
So they give you the address, right? They have the address, and there's already a police unit there securing the site, but not really doing anything there.
mhm.
I think, so presumably there'll be other details there.
Okay.
Natalie, you feel up to heading out?
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Bradley, you'll give us a call.
Yeah, and she is like sending the coroner's van off and about to head herself. Yeah, I'll page you once I have the results, but this evening maybe earlier, I don't know. Depends what I
Okay.
find.
Thank you.
Natalie, do you want to drive or navigate?
I can navigate.
Okay.
You okay to drive?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Uh, I I think I do kind of make sure that I get in the car as Natalie is moving around, so she doesn't see my hesitation at getting in the car. And then there's the opening of the glove compartment, pulling out the map book, handing you the Seattle, a map book to here's the address. Can you find it on there?
Yeah. Go ahead and look this up.
So this is Michael's car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you sit into the car, Natalie, into the driver's seat, like do you do you notice something about the way this car is that would shed some light or on Michael? What do you think?
Do you think that because of your injury, like you may have gotten like one of the handicap passes and you forgot to take it
Oh
down.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I
Great.
think that's
Uh,
what she notices, like, as she gets in there, she kind of like gets in and then looks and it's like, oh,
the and probably the bags from picking up prescriptions at the pharmacy, like torn
hmm.
open and kind of thrown in the back, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and it's like kind of like seeing like the what are the things that they give you, the little brochures about like here's your medication,
Yeah.
like all the things, but like couldn't see exactly what's on them and whatever, and it's like, and then she'll ask you again like very deliberately, it's like, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, absolutely. Just uh give us directions
Yeah,
and we'll see how long it takes to get there and we'll see what's around there.
okay. And then like she'll look up the address and just check out the district, and we'll give you
Yeah,
directions.
so the Loken home is pretty much the opposite end of Seattle, which is, I guess Bradley did say they were a local, but maybe she just meant from Seattle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and this neighborhood is West Seattle, imaginatively called.
Hmm.
Um, so like on the southwest coastal area of the city. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a drive. What do you think? Is there is the car radio set to a specific channel, or is there like a tape or even a CD player? What do you think?
Oh, let's see. Probably still yeah, a CD player there. Um and gosh, I'm not so I think he's 30 something in that era. Uh I think it's the Flaming Lips. You know, uh and the that the album before Yoshimi, whose name I can't remember, is playing there.
It is too early for Do You Realize, but
Yes,
we get the
exactly.
vibe.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Yeah. Um, so I get maybe it plays automatically right when the engine starts.
Absolutely.
Uh, what kind of driver what kind of driver are you? Is Do you take direction well from Natalie on the way across the city?
There is that thing where he is trying to hide the fact that like when he has to in a sedan do a full turn, like it is a little bit of a strain. He really has to lean into the power steering to do full turns. But otherwise he's a pretty careful driver.
And what about Natalie? Like what kind of directions giver are you?
Oh, I mean, like, she's like following the map pretty carefully, and it's like, she's like tracing it with her finger, and then like, she's not really looking up to see what he's doing per se. Like, she just noticed the handicap pass. She just noticed the bags in the back, but I mean, like, aside from that, I mean, she's very careful to make sure that she's got the navigation down, because she wants to get there carefully but also as soon as possible, because it's like, we want to investigate further, and then, like, trace James's friends, especially this Nick guy. So yeah, I mean, like, she's trying to give turn by turn directions. I mean, like, if there's a stretch of fast highway, I mean, like, again, don't know Seattle very well, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, right.
I think we have to go across the bridge over to get to West Seattle from here. It is kind of an area that hugs the the shoreline. You actually, from this spot, you can take a water taxi across to downtown.
Oh, nice.
Um, this is one of the two or three places I've been in Seattle. So
Makes me want to go. All right, cool. um but yeah, I mean, like, um
so there is a pause. You said you said you spoke to the victim, to
Yes.
Mr. Logan.
She's not going to look up. She's not going to look up as she's like, continuing to like look at the map and like trace it with her finger. And
And you're not speaking metaphorically.
I told you, I'm that consultant in the occult. It's one I know.
Uh, yeah, I think I misread that initial thing.
Gonna give me the side eye now? I mean,
No,
that's what she just comes up with.
I say no, no, no. When they brought me on, they told me to keep an open mind. They told me there would be my peers, my fellow investigators would have a suite of skills, and that being part of the team would be contingent on my acceptance of those skills. So I'm going to try to be accepting of those skills. You say there's somebody named Nick?
Yeah,
Okay.
friends,
You've
friends
given me
with
a
him.
concrete thing. We're going to get to the house. If we can find that there's a friend named Nick, that'll certainly go a good way to my ability to operate with this not have a cognitive break on my part.
Makes me wonder how you functioned before this. If you, you know, kind of had to be told to make sure that you kept an open mind. She's still not looking at you.
Because I was trained as a scientist. So there's an open mind and then there's a logical mind. But let's set that aside. Uh, Let us say that I've had some experiences since I had to leave my previous occupation that have certainly also changed my perspective on things.
It's all about perspective, Dr. Acosta. It's uh it's about how we see the world, and sometimes there are things in the world that most people can't see, and I can.
I could get quiet and just kind of nod as we drive along here.
And then she gives you more turns or whatever that we need before we get there. You know.
Moody music. The camera kind of pulls away from the
Yes.
car.
Right. Like we're all like both looking in different directions. Like as we're like
Yes.
trying to take in, like like working together. It's like, oh god, he's gonna give me the side eye. She's
Yeah.
gonna be all weird and stuff.
That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's take a break here. I think it's a good
Okay.
pause. Okay. So we're back, and you find yourselves at the Logan home, a cute white and blue bungalow at the end of a cul-de-sac, well manicured lawn, attached garage, good neighborhood in West Seattle. Uh, Wrong time of the day for you to know this, but I love the description. People walk their dogs late at night and look out for each other. Sure, buddy. Um, there's two uniformed cops outside. They are like leaning against the car, maybe with their backs to the road, just chatting. Maybe one of them has a coffee, probably cold. Um, and because you're just driving up in a regular sedan that they don't recognize as a police car, they probably just look rather than make themselves professionally available. Um,
Well,
so
uh,
Do we have badges, or do we have like do those beat cops know us or whatever? I mean, like,
yeah, so you probably have Oroboro identity badges, and they will probably have been warned that you're on your way. At least you hope so.
mm,
Um, uh, Typically, that's how it works, right? The people are told you're arriving, and then
okay.
when weirdos turn up and flash the badges, they say, "Okay."
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Um,
we will roll out, flash our ID cards.
yeah, and the kind of the more senior patrolman, tosses his coffee in the gutter and says, "Yeah, we haven't gone inside. We have a." He jangles the key. The wife is staying with her parents. She's given us permission to search the house. Do you want us to do anything, or we just sit and wait?
Uh, you can continue on doing what you've been doing.
Okay. And he gives you the key. Um, Probably tells you the alarm code, right? That seems reasonable for in this time and
Yep.
place, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
There is a moment where I've got the key and I kind of wait and like I I turn to Natalie as we've kind of moved away from the cops and we're towards the front door and I say, "Is there anything we need to do for you when we go in?" Should he?
I need to see if there's anything where, like, anything that will show his friendship, you know, with this Nick guy. I might be able to get something more.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I also want to check the garage,
Yeah.
just to see if he had any hobbies or anything like that. So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, let's go in then.
Yep.
um, yeah, so the house looks very cozy and inviting. There's family pictures on the wall, uh, bookcases, double stacked with ones on top of the books horizontally in just about every room. Um, and yeah, we said bungalow, but um, there's a garage which I've already said. There's a basement also, but pretty small. Obviously not no kids, just the couple.
Uh, I'll assume I have like one of those bulky digital cameras that you could get at that day with a really hefty 1 megabyte memory card in it, you know?
Gadzooks.
Oh, those old days.
Oh yeah.
Um,
After 3 shots, I have to change out 4 AA batteries in it, you
Sure,
know?
sure, sure. Uses up so much power. Oh my god.
But yeah, take pictures of the family photos and books and all of that kind of stuff.
yeah, so like obviously there's the couple in the photos, but like an extended family, parents, you know, siblings, all that kind of stuff. A lot of, beach holidays. Um, uh, it looks very normal, right?
Do we see any indication of, like, instead of family photos, like, any kind of like friend pictures or anything like this, at least here on this level?
You're not out here in the open. There doesn't seem to be anything like that. It is, um, I don't know, is curated the wrong word for it. It is definitely well. well picked, whether that is like to put on a front or just because this is what you have and this is what's meaningful to them as a couple. But yeah, you don't see anyone like from outside of the family appearing in these photos. I mean, no, um, how can you tell? I guess, certainly you're reading it like family.
They look similar, like either to him or to her,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Does he have is there like a study or anything like that? Or an office?
Um, the basement, I think, is probably where you're going to be heading.
Okay.
Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, I think it's small enough that there's a second bedroom, but it looks like it's really maintained as a guest bedroom, although not in use right now, or doesn't look like it's been occupied recently. Um, in the
Mhm.
main bedroom, again, quite neat. There's a blazer and tie laid out on the bed. Um, Kind of thing you imagine a school teacher wearing, maybe.
What grade?
High school, I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
All right.
Um, maybe maybe there is a kind of professional photo of this guy, with a on a class trip, or maybe with some other teachers, like getting an award or something like that.
In
Um,
the books that are out scattered around, is there anything that twigs to us as being unusual? Nostradamus prophecies or,
um,
anything out of the ordinary that we wouldn't expect? Or is it pretty much, ooh, he's got the newest, Dan Brown book, you know?
I think there's a lot of fiction, like biographies, but then there is like a strong thread of history out here, and you probably spot some books that you go, oh, that's kind of interesting. Um, but taken in its totality, there's nothing strange here.
Okay.
Right.
Um, I think when you go down to the basement, you get a different picture, right?
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
right.
There's the distinct vibe now. Like we're just getting like the surface, literally the surface area for the ground floor,
Yeah,
basically,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
now we have to go down to the basement to get underneath. Okay, all right,
Um,
I get you.
yeah, the subtext.
Yeah, the subtext for sure. Okay, so
Um,
yeah.
so here, I guess, first of all, it's not cozy, right? It's obviously not had the same kind of attention given to it as um, the rest of the house. There's a big, heavy oak desk with a computer, a bulky CRT
Mhm.
monitor, right? There's a lot of books, but stacked with post-it notes and strips of paper and notebooks and like a lot of stuff here that looks like it's work in progress. You do see, there's uh, the drawers in the desk are locked. Behind the desk, you see it's not on the wall, it's like actually behind the desk, like down on the ground. There is a cork board with pinned papers and photos and red string.
Oh, this looks familiar.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think like if you're going over to the board, murder board, yay! I think we jiggle the desk drawers. It's like if you're gonna go look at the board, Natalie's gonna like fish out something from her purse, maybe a lockpick.
Perfect.
Um, so yeah, I mean that seems like just general investigation, right? Um, I think it's interesting that you have is it an actual set of lockpicks, or is it one of those kind of gun? Uh, lockpicks that works on certain types of uh, locks. You know, you push it in, you pull the trigger, and it opens the thing.
I, no, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like it requires like, you know, it's a set of like maybe one or two, um, uh, like little things that look like nail file slash like screwdriver heads or something like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
mean, like
yeah, yeah.
they're kind of like long things, and then she kind of like just kind of will surreptitiously like jam one of them into the thing and like jiggle a little bit and like go, you know. And oh, look at that.
So yeah, there's a little black book, literally and figuratively, right?
Mhm.
There is a small shoebox with Polaroids in it. They are all of naked women in various poses, names and dates on the back. Um, the most recent one is of Leah Orr, of this slim Asian girl.
What? She immediately goes to the little black book and definitely puts the pictures down. um, what is she see in the little black book?
Yeah, so it's basically it's a list of all the women in the photos, um, phone numbers, um, for the most part. Sometimes just names.
Looks like Mr. Logan has been busy.
Interesting. Let's take some shots of that stuff. What does the
Yeah,
board have on it?
yeah.
So, um, I think the board is most seems to be the Pacific Coast, and um, there's a lot of like the main kind of pins are associated with earthquakes. There are you know, jotted notes pinned to them with like dates. Um, and then there is um, some kind of, it's kind of hard to interpret the other notes, but they seem to be definitely talking about like occult stuff, like um, alignments or sites of occult power or whatever. There's not a huge through line through all of these occult um, moments on the map.
Question. So, is there like a is the first off, is the writing in the black book all consistent? Like it's one person,
Yeah,
probably James, writing it.
it's
Okay.
all James. Yeah.
And is the writing on the stuff on the board also in James's handwriting, or do we see another handwriting on the board?
Um, it looks very, very similar, and probably like if you're used to analyzing handwriting, you think, oh, well, this is stuff that was written against the wall, and so it's
Yeah,
slightly different from stuff written in a book. But
right.
yeah, it looks similar enough that you think it's the same person.
Okay. I mean, like, basically, it's like what she's looking for specifically is anything that could be belonging to someone else or to, like, written by somebody else.
Hmm.
Like, this mysterious Nick is what she's looking for.
Yeah, you don't see any evidence of that
Damn.
in the black book, on the backs of the Polaroids, on the map, on cardboard.
Well, this certainly confirms what you said about earthquakes. I haven't seen anything about a nick, but
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head with this.
But why would they, I mean, or at least why would this Nick want to bring about this earthquake, though? is the information showing like, increasingly powerful earthquakes through these dates and times or whatever? I mean, or is it just a historical timeline of it happening?
Yeah, I think there's really no strong thesis here. There's a lot of questions, and
Got it.
there's maybe some scribbled notes on like note cards asking those kind of questions, like is it moving towards Seattle?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, um, uh, you know, is this um, is this aligned with what's happened in other cities?
Yeah.
Um, were there murders in San Francisco? Maybe another
Okay.
note card.
I think, pardon. I think she's going to not pull it off of the like in the sequence of things on the board, but she's going to touch it. She's going to touch a specific card or note that's pinned to the board that has to specifically do with the I don't know the either the murders or the earthquake, whichever one you said was you know um, either listing the date or posing the the instance. And she's going to keep her hand on it, and I think she's going to use Herald.
Okay.
So bringing
Um,
down the will. So I'm
um,
assuming I bring down I have to use stress to use it. So
yeah, so it is. So we've gone through dawn. We're now in midday, so it's two stress
two stress. Okay,
to use this.
so
There is no roll because you are not reading the killer.
right.
Um, um, So yeah, you experience a fleeting vision of the past, present, or future. Touch an item, surface, or person to receive a flash of insight related to the investigation. Okay.
Right.
So I think what you see is um, around Seattle. Like the scale of the map is too big to know it, but there is like a a pin mark in kind of the northeast of the city, um, maybe where Nick the body was discovered, but maybe it's somewhere else, right?
Hmm.
And you kind of draw your finger along this and feel it, and you get like a tolling, like a bell tolling, like this is the first, and you feel like a tremor underneath your feet, and you see, you know, maybe you hear another bell toll, and you feel the ground open up underneath you, you know, opening up to swallow a maritime city, to destroy it in this cataclysm.
I think when she feels that, I mean, like it literally feels like something's opening up underneath her feet, and she starts to get that vertigo feeling of falling. I think she starts to scream. And then, like, if she comes back to herself, it's like, she's probably looking at Michael like, what the hell is going on?
You okay?
So, what will happen if this earthquake happens? It's gonna swallow up part of the city, if not all of it. Sorry, I'm just.
No, that's okay.
So Lowell, what is Michael doing? You've
I am doing a sort of grid search. Uh, I'm looking for, you know, any evidence as another Nick person, anything that points to like storage lockers or other locations. Uh, if you've got pictures of people and names, I'm also looking to see if there's anything that suggests a murder kit
okay.
here,
Yeah,
any of that kind of stuff. I want to get a sense of what's going on in this place.
yeah. Um, so I think the kind of the stacks of annotated books, right? Kind of show you maybe the more of the step-by-step research that James has been doing, right? So he's looking at ritual murders, he's looking at occult places, how those two interact, what they lead to. And so like there is maybe one anthropology book where he's looking at like ritual sacrifice and the removal of the eyes. And there's a post-it note about why this is so important, about the heralding in of the apocalypse, the witnessing. Um, I think you see. I think actually, maybe as you're doing this grid search, you see like a small key on the underside of the desk, which would open the desk drawer that
Uh,
Natalie has already opened, right? And in the
Absolutely.
other one, there's a stack of floppy disks with um, Usenet addresses on the labels, mostly conspiracy um, groups for Seattle, but also like the West Coast, a bunch of sex groups as well. Um, and yeah, I think probably what you also see, like as you go through um, one of these books, I think it's on like it's a geographical historical text of the kind of foundation, the very early urban planning in Seattle, surveys that were done looking at fault lines, the places in the city that are here. I think you find this um, curled up sticky note with two names and phone numbers. One of those names is Nick, and another is Leah. And there's in a different pen but the same handwriting, Carter's Burgers.
We photo or take copies of everything so we have a good reference on this. What do you think, Natalie?
They were obviously trying to kick off an event. Ritual murders. Unfortunately, it looks like James was the first victim, especially from what I saw in my vision.
But you also said he was trying to stop it?
He said he was trying to stop it, but then Nick wanted it to happen.
I think we need to talk to the wife.
Yeah. Did she know about her husband's extracurricular activities?
I
God.
think the first thing we do need to know is, does she know a Nick?
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, um, so you have a phone number for her parents' place where she is staying. Uh, if you want to see her in person, that will take time, right? Because it's outside the city.
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's a
I
judgment
think
call for me, right?
we'll give a call.
Mhm.
Okay. Um,
Dr. Acosta, I'm a consultant with the police. We are giving your name and number. We're very sorry for your loss, our condolences. Uh, we just have a couple of questions if you're up to answering them.
um, okay. Um,
I know you've told the police this already, and I kind of, as soon as she says okay, and we're on speakerphone,
yeah.
I say, I know you already told the other police officers about this. Uh, when was the last time you saw your husband?
Um, last night, I mean, well, sorry, no. I reported him missing last night.
Uh-huh.
And then I guess I saw him. Um, he Um, came home after work, and he said he was going out to meet some friends um, for dinner. So
Can,
yeah,
can you give me the name of some of his friends?
he didn't say.
But I mean, in general, like, who would you say is in his friend group? Any names that stand out? People that he would generally hang with, that kind of thing.
Oh, he does a lot of socializing with a couple of other teachers at the
Hmm.
school. They have like a book club, and a couple of them have like a cinema club, but they like not my taste. Um, um, there's Michael.
Arty
Hmm?
horror? What do you mean, not to your taste?
Well, the cinema stuff is kind of, like arty. Yeah,
Okay,
like
fair enough.
French stuff. And the books is like just history. So like
Hmm. Hmm.
uh,
So you're saying Michael and who else?
there's a Julia, who I think is the other history teacher in the high school.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a Zach
Okay.
who I think is in a different school district, but yeah,
We got a couple other names. Do you know a Leah?
no,
Okay. Do you know a Nick?
not that rings a bell. No,
Okay. Okay.
he said he was going for burgers. He said he didn't need to eat. Um,
If he was going for burgers, where would he usually go?
oh, well, he doesn't usually go for burgers, but I mean, there's plenty of places nearby. But he said he was
Okay.
going further into the city, like um, say said like Beacon Hill, I think,
Okay.
towards Beacon Hill. I'm sorry, that's not very
No,
useful.
that's okay. Did you notice anything unusual about his behavior over the last week or so?
Um,
Upset, anxious, worried about something, distracted.
yeah, he's always doing these projects, and he said he had like a deadline coming up. So yeah, I kind of gave him that space. We weren't hanging out a lot recently.
Is there anything else that now you've had time I know you've been dwelling on this for a bit. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us that you think we should be aware of?
Listen, he said he was going out with for friends. Usually, I know that means he's fucking around.
Okay.
So I don't ask too many questions
Okay.
because, to be honest, I don't want to know.
Has that been going on for a while?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to have some follow-up on that. And I do kind of pause there and I look at Natalie in case Natalie has anything they want to ask.
Is there? Hmm.
As I said, this is my colleague, uh, Miss Abad. She has a question for you.
So sorry you had to deal with this, Mrs. Logan. Um, can you think of any other places that your husband would be hanging out? Um, aside from, of course, work. That would be would be a regular that would know, or would be perhaps the last to have seen him alive.
He doesn't go to bars. He's hasn't drunk in like 10 years. So if he's not seeing a girl, like he spends a lot of time in museums, right? The libraries. He's always working on a project.
Has he ever
Uh,
told you what these projects are about?
Local history, again, not my thing.
Gotcha.
Listen, I told the cops, but I'm not sure if they really paid too much attention. Like our car is missing.
Hmm.
He took it on, which what was okay. Um, but like I'm sure wherever that is where he was. It's a red Pontiac. She
Okay.
rattles off the reg plate.
Okay.
That's really important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Okay. Um, thank you.
So Nick's his partner in crime on this, but she doesn't know him. So he's keeping that.
Under wraps.
Yeah. We need to find this Nick. We need to find this Leah.
Yeah.
We need to track down the names of these women to know if they're associates, they're sex partners.
You were saying that one of the names in the book was Leah, like
This
the naked
Nick, I
woman.
found the Nick's name and Leah's name on it. Looks like one of the more recent things. So let's follow up on that name, see what
Yeah.
we can get.
Yeah, so Leah is one of the most recent Polaroid,
Hmm.
um, and is on that post-it note that you discovered in the book along with Nick's name. So yeah, that's definitely um, they're in that same kind of they're written on the same post-it. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're definitely associated.
Great.
Okay.
Oh man.
I think this might be a good place to wrap up for today.
Yeah.
That seems
Got
fair.
a couple of new lines of inquiries.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording and then we will
Okay.
do our debrief.
All right.